I have to be honest, before traveling to the UK, I definitely was really anxious. Sometimes I do get comments down in my video saying that what is diversity like in Sheffield? Your pigmentation of skin should not dictate your value of worth. I did have a few encounters of racism during my time at the city of Sheffield. An example where they did not treat me like the other girl. During coronavirus season, which is the peak of Asian discrimination. People got spat on, people got punched because they're Asian. Just talking back towards her because he knows that it's not correct to discriminate people. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. How's everyone doing? Let me know in the comment section down below, since this has been not an easy summer for all of us, and I'm so glad that uni is starting soon, so that may add a bit of fun to your life, even though most of it is going to be virtual due to health and safety reasons. It's all for the better good, so it's fine. Also, I'm really into this bandana look. If you can't tell yet, my new YouTube profile picture is also me in a bandana. I'm just really digging this look. I feel I'm kind of late to the trend, but I discovered that I have some bandanas at home and I was playing around with it the other day, and I just love the way it looks. Like, my hair is always so frizzy and I feel like the bandana just covers it, so if I have a bad hair day, aka today is a bad hair day, it just works wonder. Anyway, I'll stop blabbering, and for today's video I'm going to talk about my experience studying abroad as a Hong Konger, as a foreigner, being in a mainly white dominant country, the United Kingdom. This is something that's quite relevant to all international students. It's not specifically exclusive to Hong Kongers. What I've experienced could be quite general to all people that are not British. If you are studying in other countries like America, Australia, and you are an international student, this video will also be really useful to give you a heads up on what you will expect. But obviously I am studying at the University of Sheffield, so most of the experience I have is because of the University of Sheffield, so do take my words with a pinch of salt if you're not going to study at the same university as me. So a bit of a background: I am born and raised in Hong Kong. A lot of people are really curious. A lot of people think that I'm mixed because of my English. No, I am purely a Hong Konger. I have a Hong Kong passport. I don't have any dual identity. I don't have any dual nationality. I have really good English because I went to an international school in Hong Kong. I have been taught by Westerners. I speak English to most of my friends and my sister, and I speak Cantonese to my parents since they are local, so they don't really have good English. I have to be honest, before traveling to the UK, I definitely was really anxious, paranoid, and had a lot of doubts since I don't look like anyone in the UK. I'm just kind of scared because I've never been to Sheffield before. Like, what if I can't make any friends because of how I look like? I know it is the 21st century and discrimination and racism is taken on very seriously, but let's be honest, we are human after all. We normally are more inclined to people that look like us. So even if people are not racist, not everyone is anti-racist. People can just not be racist but still exclude you, you know? Like, if you get what I mean. Yeah, I was really lucky because I signed up for the pickup service from the airport, so I made a friend instantly with the ambassador that came and picked me up. They were like wearing bright orange sweater that says, "Can I help you?" and they were holding those lollipop sticks that you might see during Sheffield Open Days. So they were just waiting at the airport and I signed up for that. I got picked up and got onto a coach to go to Encliffe. During that journey, I had a really nice chat with the student, and he studies engineering, which is really friendly. Moving in was quite easy. The person that lives a room next to me is also an Asian girl, which is amazing since I'm an Asian, she's an Asian, she's from Thailand, and we just clicked instantly because we're both international students. She lived in Hong Kong for a bit too, which is amazing, so we had a lot in common. She just instantly turned into one of my closest friends at university. I just want to highlight on the diversity of my flat, which I'm actually really shocked by because there are just myriads of race on the floor. So I live in Carisbrooke Court, and that is like one of the few catered accommodation in Encliffe. It's a 4-story accommodation and each floor has around 30 rooms. rooms since it is catered, so our kitchen isn't that essential to us. Therefore 30 people share a kitchen, which sounds really grim, but I think it works since not a lot of people cook. We normally just go to the cafe to eat like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So yeah, and I only normally just cook for lunch or breakfast if I do want to, since breakfast is just porridge, it's easy. My accommodation had so many different type of race. I actually wrote down a few of the race that's on my floor, not even my whole accommodation. There's Indians, there's Pakistanis, there's Thai, there's people from Burma, Hong Kong, obviously. I think there's 2 other people from Hong Kong. Obviously UK, Americans, there's people from Poland, Vienna, Egypt, Africa, Mexico, etc. Like that's not everyone, but that's the one that I could think of on top of my head. But honestly, the diversity is crazy. I didn't expect that many different types of race of people will be at the UK studying in Sheffield, let alone just being on the same floor living as me. That is like around 10 already, and there's way more. So sometimes I do get comments down in my video saying that what is the diversity like in Sheffield. I'm super confident to say that the diversity is intense. It definitely has a lot of diversity. The good thing about our university, and I think most university, they have society that is dedicated to each race, each country. So I have Hong Kong society, there's like Indian society, there is Taiwanese society, there is Singaporean society, there is British society, there is American society, there's Hispanic society, etc., Filipino society. Like you name it, your home country, your nationality will be represented via a society. Sports-wise is also always very inclusive. I think by now you know that I played rugby for the university, and the girls in rugby is just the nicest people ever. Rugby itself is not that diverse, it's mainly white dominant. Most of the members in the rugby union is white. I'm the few Asians in there, but I don't feel neglected, discriminated at all. Everyone just include me in their conversation. I am a bit shy when I'm in the club since everyone looks different to me and I get a bit intimidated. I talked about it in my other video about my experience playing rugby for my university. I can't even think of an example where they did not treat me like the other girls. Like they are just a really nice sports club that is so inclusive, amazing. I can't speak for every single sports club in the world or even in the University of Sheffield since I've only been actively engaged in one, but through my experience of rugby, I'm pretty sure like all the other sports clubs have similar values to rugby. Also, university students, they are all well-educated people. They all know that discrimination, racism is not something to do, especially through social media and all the awareness that has been risen through the Black Lives Matter movement and all that, and coronavirus also triggered a lot of Asian minority racism, which also was combated through a lot of media awareness. So I think that also helps to mitigate the situation of racism. But like university is an area that there is little to no racism I've encountered. I've never encountered any incidents of racism in my own university. All the students there are highly educated and they know better than to discriminate over people. Your pigmentation of skin should not dictate your value of worth, and it's just really stupid to not like someone because of how they look. All in all, my university in particular, has a great support network for international students. They host cultural evenings to celebrate the diversity at the university, and we are not forgotten. We are as important as local students. Only that our tuition fee is a bit more expensive, but fair enough. That is what it is. That is capitalism. I was just stupid for being so paranoid about going to studying in the UK because I don't think I've ever had times where I felt like I didn't want to be in my own skin. I'm not proud to be a Hong Konger. Saying that, you also need to keep in mind that the people I encounter might not be the same as the people you encounter. People at the end of the day are bias, and some people will be snobby and ignorant, and there might be one in a few people that could be racist towards you. There will be racist people too, but it's just a matter of fact if you are unlucky to bump into one. I did have a few encounters of racism during my time at the city of Sheffield. I think Sheffield itself is an amazing city, and I've only encountered three racist encounters that just I didn't really put in heart because they're really minute experiences. It's not like anything that hurted me physically or like my mental health being. It was just something that I just feel like, why would they say that? But I just brushed it off like after a few hours. My first ever encounter of racism is just walking down the street and there are beggars in the sidewalk and they just kept saying ni hao to me. I don't really care about that much. Like, I feel like that could be a cultural appropriation. I personally don't say ni hao, that is not my language. I speak Cantonese. The second racist encounter I have had was in Sainsbury during coronavirus season, which is the peak of Asian discrimination. I was just shopping in Sainsbury and one of the white local middle-aged woman was telling the worker to tell all Asian people to get out of the store since they don't belong here and they're just spreading the virus. It's not targeted to me directly, but I just overheard what she said, and I'm really grateful that the Sainsbury employers was just talking back towards her, because he knows that it's not correct to discriminate people. He was not just listening to her demands and actually executing it. He was telling her that it's not right. Kudos to that worker, I didn't get kicked out. And then the last encounter I had was ice skating in Sheffield. It was during coronavirus season 2, and there was just a bunch of teenager boys that was coughing around us because we're Asians. That didn't really hurt me personally because they were just teenager boys and they're pretty ignorant. They're like 13 and they probably thought it was really funny to cough around us. I just was kind of annoyed, like, you know better than that. So yeah, that is basically my racism encounters in Sheffield. Nothing really major. I've heard scary news story in America where people got spat on, people got punched because they're Asian. Really scary things. That is basically me telling you my experience being in the UK as a Hong Konger, as a person that I've never been there before. I've settled in pretty well, I've adapted pretty well, and I'm honestly really looking forward to be back again in the UK and just enjoy my university life once and for all. That is it. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.